When did the worst marksman in your unit save everyone's life? It was Private First Class Danny Walsh, and I watched it happen during our deployment to eastern Afghanistan in 2018. Danny couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if he was standing inside it. During rifle qualification, he barely scraped by with a minimum passing score. Took him 4 attempts just to qualify on his M4. The rest of us would joke that his rifle was allergic to targets. Our squad leader, Staff Sergeant Miller, tried everything. Extra range time, different shooting positions, even had him try left-handed. Nothing worked. Danny would line up his shots perfectly, squeeze the trigger smooth as silk, and somehow miss a man-sized target at 100 meters. We were stationed at this tiny outpost near the Pakistan border. 12 guys total, middle of nowhere, surrounded by mountains that gave insurgents perfect high ground for attacks. Our job was monitoring supply routes and calling in reports on suspicious activity. Danny got assigned to radio watch most of the time. Miller figured if he couldn't shoot straight, at least he could work communications. Kid was actually pretty good at it too. Had this methodical way of logging everything, noting details others would miss. The night everything changed, I was pulling guard duty with Danny on the observation post. 2 a.m., pitch black except for our night vision. Most boring assignment on the base, just scanning the valley below for movement. Danny had his binoculars out, slowly sweeping left to right like he always did. Real systematic about it. Never rushed, never got lazy. I was half asleep in my chair when he grabbed my arm. "Something's not right down there," he whispered, pointed toward the main road about 800 meters out. I looked through my scope, saw nothing unusual, just empty roads, some scattered rocks. "What are you seeing?" I asked. He handed me his binoculars, guided my view to a specific spot. "Those rocks weren't there yesterday. I've been watching that exact section for 3 weeks. Every stone, every bush." I looked closer. He was right. 3 large rocks that definitely hadn't been there during our last patrol, but rocks don't just appear overnight, unless they're not rocks. Danny was already on the radio. "Base, this is OP2. Possible IED placement en route Tampa. Grid coordinates 347218. Request immediate confirmation." Base came back confused. "OP2, we show no activity in that sector. Are you certain?" Danny keyed up again. "Negative contact, but terrain has changed. Requesting explosive ordnance disposal to investigate." Staff Sergeant Miller's voice crackled over the radio. "Walsh, you sure about this? Don't want to wake up EOD for phantom rocks." Danny looked at me, then keyed the mic one more time. "Roger, I'm certain. Those objects appeared overnight in a choke point where our supply convoy passes every morning at 0800. Even if I'm wrong, isn't it worth checking?" 15 minutes later, EOD rolled out with their robot. Sure enough, Danny's rocks were 3 improvised explosive devices, perfectly positioned to destroy our weekly supply convoy. 500 pounds of explosives total, enough to vaporize every vehicle in our patrol. The convoy was scheduled to roll through that exact spot in 6 hours. 12 soldiers would have been killed instantly, plus whoever was manning the observation post when the blast went off. EOD spent 4 hours carefully disarming everything. Found a command wire running back to a hillside position where insurgents had planned to trigger the devices remotely. They'd been watching our patterns for weeks, timing the perfect ambush. Miller called Danny into his office the next morning. "Walsh, how did you spot something our drones missed? Our satellite imagery missed? Our experienced soldiers missed?" Danny shrugged. "I can't shoot straight, so I watch everything twice as hard. Figured if I'm going to be useless with a rifle, I better be useful with my eyes. Practice makes perfect, even if it's not the practice everyone expects." The convoy rolled through that morning without incident. Our supplies arrived on schedule. Nobody got blown up because the worst marksman in our unit had been paying attention to rocks. Miller put Danny in for a commendation medal. Citation read, "For exceptional vigilance resulting in the prevention of enemy action and preservation of friendly forces." The award ceremony was small, just our 12-man unit. When Miller handed Danny his medal, he said something I'll never forget. "Some soldiers save lives by being the best at what they're supposed to do. Others save lives by being the best at what they actually do." Danny never did improve his marksmanship, still couldn't hit targets worth a damn, but he became our unofficial intelligence specialist, the guy who noticed when things didn't add up. Found 2 more IED sites during our deployment. Both times, it was because he'd memorized terrain features that the rest of us walked past every day. His eyes became our early warning system. At our unit reunion last year, Danny showed up wearing that commendation medal on his dress uniform. "Still can't shoot straight," he told us over beers, "but I can still spot trouble from 800 meters out."